Whereas this game, matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead because I posted on IG today my top 10 games of 2024, and I'm gonna go ahead and share it. Here, let's go ahead and share. I do want to talk about certain games. Right. Let's see this stack here. All right, number 10, we got Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best Dragon Ball games in a long time. I mean, Fighters is a good fighting game, but as a pure Dragon Ball Z game, just a Dragon Ball game in general, this is the complete packages. I love the new story elements that they added to the game. And what they did their own version of what if. Like they had scenarios, what if Vegeta defeated Cell before he become Perfect Cell? Or what if Vegeta defeated Frieza before he transformed to his final form? And I know the biggest one I love is the Trunks. When like, what if Trunks defeat the androids before even Cell get to Zord? So they had a lot of new stuff to Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, man. A lot of new content, and it's still stuff that I gotta finish. I think Jaren, I gotta finish his story arc. So yeah, and I know they did it on Frieza. What if? So Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, the best Dragon Ball game of the year, of all time, and one of the best games of the year. Right behind another fighting game that I'll show later on.
Before you say there's one game that's in my mind. I mean, when you get done, I will tell you if it made the list or not.
All right. Dragon Dogma 2. Great RPG game. Now, the funny thing is, I played the first game on the PS3, never finished it. And I was supposed to play it again before Dragon Dogma 2 came out, but I said, I'm just going to go ahead and go straight to Dragon Dogma 2. Classic game here when it comes to the RPG. I've seen a couple of people complain about the open world. I'm gonna tell you this: there is no traditional fast travel in this game. You have to collect portal crystals for you to fast travel. And I think there's 5 or 6 of them in the game. But I was saying that, you know what? I think that's a good thing that they didn't have the massive instances on fast travel, because a lot of exploring I did. I mean, they had a lot of places that you could explore in the game, especially the caves. Because this is why I would say this is close to Elden Ring when it comes to exploration. Because you could find a lot of things that you may not find. I believe if they would have a lot of fast travel points, I don't believe people would have explored the game like how it should have been explored.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they got the class, they call them vocations, and they had the class system they had in the game is awesome. I played through, I think, 6 or 7 of them and maxed all of them out, man. And it's a class in the game that's an OP kind of class, but I think they nerfed it since I beat the game and got the platinum trophy. It is an OP. And the dragon battles are insane. You fight by at least 7 dragons in this game. Wow. And they will take you 20, 30 minutes plus for you to beat them. And they some powerful dragons. I remember one time when I came across a dragon for the first time, I got my ass kicked real quick. I had to level myself up to a point. I think I had to get to level 40 for me to have a capable fight against a dragon. So that them dragon fights ain't no joke. And I would say the end game is the best part of the game in terms of the overall story. That whole sequence in the end game is awesome. But yeah, Dragon Dogma 2, one of the best RPGs of the year from Capcom. Definitely a must play for any RPG you've had out there.
Nice. Yeah, another thing I like about your collection is everything is physical.
Oh, I'm all physical. I'm team physical all day.
Yeah.
I'm team physical. I refuse to buy it. Like, there was games that came out that was digital only. I'm not buying. Especially if you charge regular full price, that you charge $70 for a digital only game. No, I'm not buying.
Not at all.
Unless you come out with a physical version of the game, I'm buying, because Black Myth Wukong had a physical version. And what was another physical version that came out? Oh, the Tomb Raider remaster 1 to 3. It came out digital first, then they released a physical copy later on. So that if you announce a physical copy, I'm getting your game. If you don't, I'm not getting it. Unless it's a massive price drop on digital.
Yep. Totally agree. Yep.
So here's game number 8. And I mentioned Persona earlier. This is Persona 3 Reload, the remake of the original Persona 3, which was my first Persona game I ever played. And absolutely enjoyed it. I remember a lot of things that I played from the original game. They added new story elements and new dialogue scenes and cutscenes. Great gameplay. And I still say that this is probably the last true serious Persona game that it took place in school, but it had some violence and it had some very serious tone to the game. And it had some character depth. That's how I kind of feel like the 2 Persona games after it didn't have no major character deaths. But Persona 3 Reloaded, great game, great RPG game. If you're a fan of the games, because a lot of people just recently got into Persona series. I would say Persona 5 put the games on the franchise on the map. A lot of people ain't even heard of Persona. I heard the original Persona games that came out back in 97 and 99. I heard of those because of the PlayStation magazine. They had the advertisement of those in the PlayStation magazine. So that's why I always like, maybe I'll give a try at Persona 2, because Persona 2 was on one of the PlayStation Underground demos I had. And so I ended up trying that out. Like, pretty good. But the problem was Persona 2 was so hard to find. That was a hard to find game. I'm going to tell you this. It's a $400 game right now on eBay.
Woo!
$400.
Great.
And the price went, because when I first looked on eBay back in 2018, it was a $250 game. And now it's a $400 game. And Persona 2 was hard to find back in New York in 1999 when it came out. I'm like, man. And that was one of the rare games that rare Japanese games that get released here in the States, but they only release a limited amount of copies of them. So that's why when Persona 3 came out, I was like, let me go ahead and get it. I bought Persona 3, I think, 4 days after it came out. Cause I remember I missed a launch day. I forgot that, oh shit, Persona 3 came out. So I had to go, I think I had to get my dad to take me to GameStop. So that's how I got Persona 3. And from that point on, that's when I became a Persona fan. And they remake the game. Absolutely love it. Persona 3 must-play game of 2024. Number 7. Space Marine. 4,000 BC.
I've never heard of this one.
Yeah, Warhammer. I know you heard of the Warhammer series, right?
I've heard of Warhammer. Yeah.
This is part of the Warhammer series. Space Marine 2. An awesome game. And I played the first. I always hyped up the first one on IG. I tell people, and that game is so criminally underrated. But man, this, like, I would say that it has the you play Gears of War, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say this it has
Gears of War
in the melee of Gears of War. Just that you're a Marine god, and this game is badass. Literally,
I'm actually typing some of these games into my.
Man. I mean, the funny thing is, a lot of these games are on sale during the holiday, so. So you may miss out your chance on getting them for good cheap prices. Like, yep, awesome game, man. Gameplay is great. The story is much better than I anticipated, because especially I love them final 4 missions. Them 4 missions are great, intense. You had some great boss battles, especially this one dude who fight like the Predator. He goes up in the trees and uses stealth and attack you from the stealth advantages and all that. Yeah, you have to keep your eyes on him, and your squad mates will point him out if he's in a position from a far distance, so you gotta look out for that. But yeah, this game is awesome. I didn't do, like I said, my multiplayer is kind of down, so I didn't play too much in the multiplayer. I did play one mission in co-op with someone. Damn shame the server got crashed and I had to log out. I think I probably played 3 matches with him. But yeah, Space Marine 2, awesome game. Now this game, I know you heard of the Silent Hill franchise, right?
Yep.
They remade Silent Hill 2. Wow. And a lot of people were skeptical on this game because of the developers. The Bluebird team. They the ones that developed the Medium. You heard the Medium, right? I know that was on Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they developed the Medium, and that was kind of like an average game. And they did another game before the Medium. So there was a lot of skepticism on Silent Hill 2. And I was kind of iffy on buying the game. Then when the reviews came out, it turned out to be real. The review's been way better than what a lot of people expected. It got, I think, 87 Metacritic score. So I bought the game. I bought this during Black Friday, and I beat it towards the end of November. And man, oh man, it lived up to what the original game was. And so I played the original game back on the PS2, and I love Silent Hill. That was because I ain't played the first Silent Hill game. I only played the demo of Silent Hill 1.
Mm-hmm.
Silent Hill 2 was the first one that I played fully, and I loved it. And I will tell you this. Play this game at nighttime. If you got a surround system, play with the all the way up, because you're gonna be jumping. You're gonna be shot. You're gonna be scared. You may not want to turn a corner when you hear some noises, because they did an awesome job with the audio. Because I played the first 10 hours of the game without headphones. Then I decided, you know what, I want to see how this sounds with headphones on. Because man, it sounds scary without the headphones from my surround sound system. And boy, there was one part of the game. It was you walking down a long ass stairwell, and I think they extended this because the original game, hey, I don't remember them stairwells being so damn long, but boy, they extended it. It's dark. If you could turn off your flashlight and it'll be jet black. You can't see nothing, but you hear sounds. I'm like, yo, it's like I'm walking into hell. What's going on here? You got the headphones on, you hearing this shit. Wow. You take the lights off. You can't see nothing on the screen. I'm like, damn, what am I walking into, man? That whole scene really freaked me out. Yo. And you have the option. I know because I ain't did that again. I wish I did it again because I missed the trophy. That you could turn. They have a radio in the game which you can have on, so it'll alert you to any of the creatures that are nearby. And I thought that does give you a jump scare because like when you walking, you don't hear nothing. All of a sudden you hear that radio come on, like, oh, something's near. Something's near. I was kind of slowing down, like, damn, I got to slow down. Damn creatures nearby.
Hey,
turn the radio off. When you turn the radio off, you don't know what's coming at you. You don't know That's what I always say, man. I saw someone did a live stream of the game. They had the radio off, so instead of they were walking slow, they were walking fast. And all of a sudden, because they had one of these creatures that be sitting in the corner or they be sitting down, and you can't see them, especially if you don't point your light towards or scan the whole room. You don't point your light and scan the whole room, you can't see them. So then it was the girl too, man. She down there bust my damn computer speakers. As soon as she got right to the corner, she turned around because once I heard the sound, like, oh, you hear that sound? That it's gonna attack you. She turned around and dude started hitting her, and she started jumping and screaming like crazy. Like, oh, that's what you get. You get, man. You better be walking slowly. Don't walk fast, so you won't be sad. Because she had a couple of jump scares throughout the game, throughout her live stream. But that part right there really got her. She had to pause the game. Like, yeah, that's what you get. Don't walk fast in Silent Hill 2. You better walk slowly and observe the room. Look at the room. Because you don't know what's going to pop up in front of you or behind you. And they be having them all over the place. Silent Hill 2, awesome horror game, awesome remake, man. I would say it's right up there with Resident Evil 4. Definitely must buy game. I would recommend you, D, because this is a simple game. I would say the combat, you pretty much, because the melee, you just going to do you swing your bat, you swing your pipe, and then you shoot your guns and all that. But it's pretty much simple. It's a simple.
Is that like the remake from like the original from like early 2000s?
Yeah, for the PS2.
Okay, yeah. So I played that way back in the day.
Yeah,
I'll definitely look back.
I ain't played that in a long time. I only played Silent Hill 2 once in some place, but I had a lot of. It was a lot of things that I remember. Oh yeah, I remember this scene. I remember this. Like, oh, I remember this. So, but they had some changes from the original game that they expanded on too. All right, so this is number 5. And we talked about the franchise earlier. Tekken 8, people.
Mm-hmm.
Best fighting game the year, and probably the best overall. I'll put this number 3 in my Tekken. Some people, I already seen a couple people putting this they number 1 Tekken game of all time, but wow. I'm putting this number 3 because I still love Tekken 3 and Tekken 5 so much. But man, Tekken 8 is awesome. The epic story from the conclusion of Tekken 7 story where Hayashima just finally died, but I'll tell you this, he came back. No surprise. But yeah, Tekken 8, gameplay, roster, one day Tekken, they never disappoint when it comes to their roster, man. 30 fighters in this game. 32 fighters from launch in this game. Big roster, and they introduce new characters that are badass. Well, Tekken, they never disappoint. Gameplay, great. Graphics great, the best graphical Tekken game, because I would say Tekken 7 did not look good graphically wise. Yeah, that was kind of disappointing with Tekken 7 for the PS4, but the graphics. But they really stepped it up with Tekken 8.
I mean, does that have a lot of buy content into it also?
The DLC, if you don't have to see pass, yeah, you have to buy. But the good thing, you can buy the fighters individually. This is what I do not like with Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
Mortal Kombat, you are forced to buy the premium package, which is $40 for all the fighters. Which I'm like, why can I just buy? Because in Tekken, you can buy the fighters separate. They $7.99. if you buy one character. $7.99. Whereas Tekken, they force you to buy the whole package.
Mm-hmm.
Which I do not like how they force that on you. So you can't buy the characters separate.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because I know so many of them now. It's just like the paywall. So much is hid behind paywalls.
And Mortal Kombat is the worst. Because Tekken, they have, I wouldn't even necessarily say, they have a little, they might, because the orbs was, but it's hard, you don't even pay attention to it. Because I think what they use for the Tekken shop. And the Tekken shop, the things that's in the Tekken shop can be unlocked naturally. But you know how some games they say, oh, we won't make a little extra money, so we'll go ahead put some microtransactions for you. Even though you can unlock the stuff in the game,
Mm-hmm.
but if you ain't got time to grind, you can go ahead and use the money to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes look. I admit I did some. It was what's the name? Grand Turismo 7 when I said I'm not grinding for no damn near $5 million credits. So I ended up buying the I've been buying because I have some leftover PlayStation credit. I think it was $30-something of PlayStation Network credit I had leftover that I ain't used. So I ended up buying the 2 million, I think 2.5 million credits, and I ended up buying another $500 just to get over 3. Yeah, was it 3? I think I had 3 million already, but I had to get over 5+ million just to buy that Ferrari board. And I'm not grinding too much in that game. But yeah, Tekken 8, man, best fighting game of the year. One of the best Tekken games. And you were going to have a lot of fun playing it. They had a lot of content. That's the one thing about Tekken and Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 was last year fighting game of the year. And Tekken 8 is this year. They have a lot of content in their games. And that's why I'm saying Mortal Kombat 1 is pretty much dead. It's a DOA game. Mortal Kombat has been living off of the celebrity guest fighters more than they living off the games themselves. I forgot. I think Conan the Barbarian was the last DLC character for Mortal Kombat 1. And I ain't played Mortal Kombat 1 since early last year. And I think Omni-Man from Invincible was the last character I played at. And that was it. Yep.
Because when I was thinking about the DLC stuff, I mean, the last thing I really spent money on for DLC was Arkham and just get all the skins. I did love all the skins in Arkham.
Which were you? Because the reason I didn't spend skins on I think it was Arkham's City, because I ended up buying the Game of the Year edition. Because I think I traded in my standard edition, bought the Game of the Year edition, so I just go ahead and have all the content. Because that's the thing with WB games, and they do that a lot with their games, especially with Mortal Kombat. After they finish with their content, they're going to release a new version, an Ultimate Edition version, with all the content and DLC characters and skins. And that's why I was saying that, when it comes to WB games, especially Mortal Kombat, that's why I was saying Mortal Kombat 1 is the last Mortal Kombat game I'm buying day one. Because I'm better off waiting until they fix everything, they add whatever features they had, and all the DLC characters come, and they're gonna come out with an Ultimate Edition that's gonna be like $40 or $50. I remember when someone said that a couple years ago. Well, I think it was before Mortal Kombat. I think it was Mortal Kombat 11 because I ended up buying Mortal Kombat 11, the Ultimate Edition for that on the PS5. Because I bought I bought Mortal Kombat 11 3 times. I bought the Premium Edition. I bought the Aftermath Edition. I think I did, and I bought the Ultimate Edition for the PS5. I'm like, yeah, why did I bought this game 3 fucking times?
and that's how they get you.
Why did I do that, man? I was better off just wait for the Ultimate Edition for the PS5 because it has the whole package. Because Tekken never re-releases. They just release one version of the game and that's it. They never re-release their games. Like with Street Fighter, that's the one thing I hate about Street Fighter. They always have a Super Street Fighter, Ultra Street Fighter, Arcade Street Fighter. They all them versions of shit. They had so many versions of Street Fighter 2. I just lost sight. Like, all right, come on, man. Let's get to this game. My number 4 game of 2024 is Stellar Blade. Oh boy.
Now I've heard a lot of good about this game.
You need to see my photo mode pictures I post on IG. Right. I know this game, the negative talk about this game that this game is eye candy. It's a sexy dress up something like that. Right? Bypass all that. Stellar Blade is awesome game. Graphically, gameplay, Eve is an awesome character, and I love the story, especially the lore of the story. I believe I beat this 4 times, and I'm on my 5th play. I beat it 4 times already. Yeah, it was 4 times I beat it. Because the one I'm currently on my 5th playthrough that I ain't finished. But yeah, Stellar Blade is an awesome game.
Now, are you playing it so much so you can get the platinum trophy?
Oh, I already got the platinum.
Okay.
I got the platinum on my second play. I think it's second.
Okay.
Because you have to beat the story 3 times to get 2 different because there's 3 different endings. You had to for you to get the trophy, you had to do it in 2 different. But I was able to have a backup save data. Because I know some people they beat it all 3 times, but I only beat it twice because I had the backup save data, so I could go back and do something different.
Yeah.
Do the unlock the 3rd ending. So that's how you do that.
I mean, I actually like it when they do stuff where you have to go back and play through to get other achievements and trophies. I like it when they do that.
Yeah,
Some people are like, just let me get it all at once.
I like that too. I prefer to get a platinum trophy in one playthrough because the next 2 games I'm told about that's the problem. Reason why I don't have the platinum trophy, but Stellar Blade, you could get the platinum trophy in 3 playthroughs, but I got mine to 2 playthroughs because I was able to back up the save data and go back. I think I had to go back before I do this. The one of the second to third, the final mission, I was able to get that ending. There's more. I think it was they said the game it's a bad ending. The game, like I don't think it's a bad ending. I think it's more like it's an ending that the choice that you go with is considered bad, but it's actually an info dump ending which you learn a lot about what happened in the past.
Gotcha.
Like, how is that a bad ending? Which it's actually you getting a lot of information that you learn. That you got to learn for what happened in the past or what happened, why Earth became what it was. So I don't consider that a bad ending. I consider that as like a good ending. Yeah, you join going up against the person that you're supposed to fight, who's supposed to be evil, that who's controlling people. But I think it's good info dump, and I think that should be the canon ending, so that could go to part 2.
Mm-hmm.
So like Oh wow.
Let me say this, when you are playing through these games, like the first time through, you watch all the cutscenes and everything.
Yes. And the 2 games I'm going to talk about, my next 2 games, the second playthrough is going to be speed run, but there's a massive problem with one game. Let's get to my 3rd game right here. It's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Part 2 of the remake of Final Fantasy VII. Awesome game when it comes to the graphics. Now, it did have performance issues and the frame rate moves. And I know that was a big talk when it came out, but it didn't seem to bother me when other people was being bothered. Story is great, but I have one big issue with the story, and this is the reason why I can't stand parts when you're doing the Chosen, because the story left me something like, damn, man, I had to go back and reload the save data and watch the whole ending sequence go back. Like, part 3 need to come here in just 2 years, man. I just can't wait. This is too much. Like, why do you have this type of ending that kind of leave you confusion? Then when you rewatch, like, part 3 need to come out. It's almost, I would say this, and when it comes to the movie comparison, the Matrix 2 and Matrix 3, Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolution. The way how Matrix Reloaded ended, like, Revolution need to come here quick. It need to come here quick, and that's the way this game ended. Especially, I don't want to spoil nothing because I do want to talk about it. It's a big spoiler alert. Well, first of all, if you play the original game, you know a major character died in Earth. But the way they had it in terms of her death, and this is one thing I did. I just hate that they did that shit with that ending. Kind of make you think that, she lives, but no, she's not. She's dead. they tease it, and there was multiple teases in the game they did with one character that I didn't like, but if they would have killed her off, the whole gaming community would have brought the heat down with Square Enix if they would have did that death. Oh boy, and I would think, they gonna kill who I think they're gonna kill in this game. But yeah, the story just leave you want part 3 to come out way sooner than what it should, man. It better come out 2027, boy, man. Well, I'm gonna be my patience is not gonna be good.
Wow.
The gameplay is also, this is why I was saying that you would not be able to play Final Fantasy VII because it is a convoluted gameplay that you have to learn on the fly. I mean, you would literally have to learn on the fly with the materia, because I would say it is extremely hard. I would say this is probably the way they made Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is when you do them Chad them Brad, and people hate Chadley with them VR missions, and this is probably the main reason why I haven't gotten the platinum trophy for this game, because I did them 2 VR missions. I'm like, I don't feel like I'm high level enough that I should be powerful enough, and these fools are wrecking me. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? What? I'm built. I'm level 80. I have the great material that I should be able to get. And the one day I think that's the BS they did. They take away any revival, and that's why you have to be smart with your people that your companions you use. I always say you gotta have a person that can revive you, a person that can give you health, because I forgot, it's Jay Barry. I think he said something about you know certain materials you need, but yeah, the material system will have your mind screwed up. Because you have to be on point on what type of material you use going into a battle. Because if you don't have the material that you need for that battle, you ain't beating.
You done.
And they had different stages, and I think that's the problem with that. You may get past the first stage, the second and third stage is going to be getting more harder and harder. I forgot which one. I think it was the Mr. 70, which I keep getting to the first 3 battles. That 4th battle against some crab motherfuckers, I just can't stand them. I'm getting both of my squad getting knocked down, and I'm the last one down. Each time I revive them, they got half health. They get put down again. I'm like, come on, man. And I was getting frustrated. I'm like, I just can't do this no more. I'm just gonna beat the game. If I come back to it, I'll come back. And you gotta beat the game a second time on hard to get the platinum trophy.
Oh.
And beating it on the normal difficulty, there was certain boss fights I knew. Oh no! If I'm struggling on normal, I can imagine how it's gonna be on hard. And they did something. They took away something they did from the first game. In the first game, they had benches, like a bench area that you can recover your SP. Your SP determines the amount of powers and abilities you can use. And in this game, they took that away. You cannot go to a bench before a boss fight and recover your SP to full. So you have to preserve your SP each battle. That is painful. Like, yo,
wow,
that is painful. You have to preserve, so you can't. I think you can only refill it. I forgot what someone said at certain spots. But before the boss fights, you can't refill your SP. Wow. So that means going into you have to preserve it while you fighting regular enemies. Then before your boss battle, you have to make sure you have a good amount for each character before you go into it. Because if you're very low on SP, go into a boss fight, you screwed. you will not. That is going to be very hard for you to defeat without SP. And I'm like, damn, why did they do that? And the funny thing is, you had the developer. He saw all the complaints, so he apologized to a lot of people, saying that sorry that we made the game hard for people. And another reason why I did not get the platinum trophy, because they add so much side content, so much side fluff, to the point they force on you to get the trophies. Like, why would you add all this content and forcing me to do it? And the worst thing about it, you have to get the top rank on each one. The top rank. Like, come on, man. And this one, you find some damn plane, you gotta fly the plane trying to get the coins, trying to get as much coins as possible. And that shit was brutal. Like, they added so much content to the game. Like, man, I just want to beat the game. Because I got to a point, I was at 110 hours, and I think I had about four major story missions left. But they sidetracked you to do all the side stuff and do all these mini games. I'm like, man, these mini games they're annoying. Like, I can't do this stuff no more. I'm wasting time. I just want to get to the main story. So I said, I'm not going to go after the platinum trophy. I'm not even going to attempt to get some of these trophies. I just want to beat the game and just go back to it whenever I have a chance. If I don't have the patience to go back to the game and beat it a second time. But other than that, it's still a great game. Great gameplay, great story. Like I said, it had that confusing ending, but it's still a fun game. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is my third game of reasons, despite all the issues I said.
It blows my mind that game is 3 with all of that you just said. That blows my mind.
It is.
It's like the good stuff is great then.
Yeah.
despite
a person who wants to, because my goal going to the game, I want to get the platinum trophy because I got the platinum trophy for the last 2 Final Fantasy games. Mm-hmm. And I see all of this stuff. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Hey, come on. I just want to get the platinum, get the stories, do whatever collectibles y'all have in the game. Mm-hmm. But the fact that they force all the side content on you, that you have to get the platinum, do all that stuff just to get the platinum trophy.
Wow.
That, like, come on. And I think that's what they probably, I know for a fact that part 3, they're going to do less. They probably going to have the content there, but they're not going to force it on you to do it and for you to get the platinum trophy. So, like, that's the one mistake they did that I did not like. And that's the reason why it's my number 3 game, not my number 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
My number 2 game is Metaphor Refancy.
I don't know
the developers of Persona. They are the same developers who create the Persona games. You know, this is a high fantasy setting game that take and play in a high fantasy setting, but it's a lot of politics. And one day, and funny, I was playing this game during this whole election. Like, the politics in this game is better than the actual politics that's going on. And what is going on here? It's about who's becoming king, who's becoming the king, because you got I forgot his name again. He killed the original king, so he wants to take the throne. Luis, that's his name. Luis is his name. You know, he's the villain of the year. He's probably one of the best video game villains in a long time. He's awesome. You know, but this game has got, and I get tired when I hear people say this, like, oh, it's just a Persona game. It has more than what Persona offers. Persona, it has some of the same things. Oh, you get the archetypes that's similar to the Personas, but they control different, and they have the variations of archetypes that I love. That you could, unlike Persona, because Persona, your companions are locked into one Persona. You can't change none of their other Personas, so they only locked into one.
Mm-hmm.
In Metaphor, you could change all of their archetypes. You could use a healer archetype. From one, you can change it over to one person to another person. You can change it over to another companion and all. Like you can turn a person who was meant to be a healer, you can turn them to a brawler. Give them the brawler archetype, so they won't be using the healer archetype like crazy. Whereas, like that's what happened in Persona. You have the character who used the healer persona, and they just lock into that healer persona for the whole game. But in Metaphor, any of your companions could use any different type of archetypes. And I think that's the big point that I brought up in my review on IG, that's what I love with Metaphor more than Persona. That all of your companions can have all the archetypes in the game instead of being locked in. So you can actually make your team kind of OP if you had the right skill set. And this is another game that has a complicated system that you really have to study on. And I know a lot of people, and I've been seeing this on Twitter recently, it takes too long for you to get into the game because someone the other day said, the tutorial session is 6 hours. It's 6 hours for a reason because it's a brand new system. They're not going to force feed it on you so early to the point that they want you to learn it and you got to learn it down pat. They give you 6 hours to learn the system. So you have you got to go through multiple, I think it was really 2 dungeons you had to go through in the first 6. So you got to learn it in those 6 hours so that when you get to the serious dungeons that have a big time boss fight, you get used to it. Because I find no way that a person who casually playing this for the first time, you are going to struggle. Because due to me, because I played all the, like I said, the Persona games. They get up to the same start to. They give you a whole section, like a whole dungeon for you to like a tutorial dungeon. So you can learn the system, learn how you manage your companions and all your attacks. Like I didn't know this game had a system. Synthesis attack when you could use a combination attack for your whole party. So I didn't know about that, and I think they introduced that a little later in the game. But I didn't know that each character each companion had their own list of attacks, of the synchronized attacks. I had no idea. Oh shit, I didn't know that because I did it was a hint session that came up telling you that, but I skipped it. I just absolutely skipped it, and and that's on later on when I got later in the game that I saw that had a trophy. You get 50 synthesis attack. I'm like, oh. And I look at my trophy list. They had like the percentage of how many you did. I only did 2 of them. Like, oh shit, when you did two of those attacks, I gotta work on them. I gotta work on them. And I'm pulling up the list of attacks that you do, and there's a whole bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like, oh man, how can I miss out on this? How the hell I play the game for 80 hours and miss out on these attacks? What's going on here?
80 hours.
How did I miss out on that shit? I was like, yo, and that's why I had to end up doing them like crazy. And then they were some awesome attacks. Like, yo, I missed out on this. And that's why I say you have to pay attention to the things, the features, because if you go bypass stuff, you're gonna miss out on things you're gonna do that you can do in the game. So that's why I was saying that you have to take this game at a slow pace because you gotta learn the mechanics. You gotta learn how you handle the archetypes and they power. Like there's another thing I didn't know that you could do. Whatever powers you lock on your archetype class, you can switch those powers over to your companion archetype so they can use your stat abilities as well. So they can use the abilities of that archetype that you have onto their archetype. I was like, yo, that's crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is crazy. I never knew that you could do that when I realized that. So that's why I was using, like, I had my my magician. He had the magic attacks, and I mixed in with melee attacks because the magician don't use melee attacks at all. But when my brawler archetype, I maxed out my archetype for the brawler, and I saw that the melee attacks was available for me to buy and use for the magician. Like, oh shit, I'm gonna make my magician a melee along with magic powers.
Wow.
And that is a cute. And I feel like that's not a feature that people are not talking about. You can literally OP your own archetypes in the class system, whereas other games don't give you that freedom.
Right.
When you have like with Persona, like I said, Persona, you are locked to the powers that Persona and the abilities that Persona has. You can't switch out or change abilities. So I think that's a great way. So you can't go into a battle like I would say, like when Persona games, you have to go into a battle with the right Persona because they have weaknesses. Like if you're going up against a fight with someone that's weak to fire, you gotta make sure you have a Persona that have fire attacks.
Right.
Yeah. So in this game, you can mix all variation of abilities with your class, with your party members, to the point that you have the weaknesses for all your archetypes. Like if you go up against an enemy that's weak to fire and ice at the same time, you can have that covered with two archetypes.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to. I don't got no fire abilities with him, so I can't use it. But all my archetypes, the people I have in my party, that have that fire ability. Like there's some, there's one dragon I fought. I didn't watch the video because that's why I was so confused. Like, wait, what the hell is he weak to? I'm using all my attacks. He's not weak to nothing. And just to find out he's weak to he's weak to light damage. So none of my archetypes had the light damage. So I had to start the battle all over again. I had to go back before the battle started and switch my archetypes, all of them with light attacks, light magic abilities. And boy, I ran to that dragon with ease. I literally killed him so quick. That's why I was like, yo, man, you have to go in certain situations where showing your archetype, you can make that adjustment and make the fight easy. Because if you just have one character that's archetype that has just light damage, you're only doing one small point damage to the dragon. But the fact that all four of my party members had light damage, it made it so much easier to lower his health.
I mean, there's so many games through the past that something like that would have worked and made them so much easier.
Yeah, because you could go into a fight and that's why I said I was struggling in the fight so much. I'm like, what's going on here? What is he weak to?
Mm-hmm.
What is he weak to? I'm using all my abilities and just to find out he's weak to light damage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I found out I had to go back to the beginning of before you fight him and make adjustments to all my archetypes.
Wow.
And make the fight easy.
Yeah.
That is a great system because you can't do that in any other game. Like I said, with Final Fantasy, you have to make sure you have the right material going to each battle. And certain battles will be you have to change out your material.
Yeah.
And some of them, sometimes they don't even tell. Like they may throw in some enemy that nullify all physical attacks. When nullify, that means if you punch them with a melee attack, it hits you right back.
Yeah.
So you dang, I can't have no melee attacks. And so I gotta make sure my archetype don't have no melee attacks at all. I gotta make sure he's use his weaknesses, and sometimes there be ones that don't have no weaknesses. So you got to figure out, all right, what contact may stun them. And I forgot it was I forgot it was one of the boss battles that when I walked into, that I was like, all right, what's going on here? He's not no magic attacks don't work, melee attacks don't work on him, yo. So what is constantly work? I ain't realize you just go up to him and hit him with a regular sword attack, and you gotta have a weapon because if he has certain weapons like a sword weapon would cause a weakness, and an axe weapon could be a weakness. So when I found out that I could just go melee his ass and he's weak to melee, man,
wow.
And it had to be you had to have a sword because certain companions only have either axe weapons or they have guns.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I went. All right, let me go back and start the fight over, and then put swords on everyone. Let me put swords on everyone so we can attack that weakness nonstop. And the more weakness you attack, you get more turns too.
Mm-hmm.
So metaphor. This game is awesome. Gameplay wise, now I will say that another weakness is the reason why it's not my number one game of the year. The graphics are kind of dated. When you look at the graphics. You said that it looked like a PS4 game more than a PS5 game, and then the textures and certain. I think before you go to certain dungeons, you can see the ground textures. They look bad. I don't know. I think they said they fixed them with a recent patch, but they did not look good. So on the technical level, like graphics and all, that's the game flaw. That's the game flaw. It's not the graphics are pretty dated. It's not Persona 3, the game that I told about earlier. That had better graphics than this. And they from not the same development team, but they use the same engine. But that had better graphics than Metaphor, and that was kind of surprising. But yeah, Metaphor, my second favorite game of the year, could have been my number one game if it just had better graphics. But definitely a must-play game for my RPG head guys out there. If you're a fan of Persona, go buy Metaphor. Go buy it. You will love it.
Nice.
My number one game, and the game that just came out of nowhere, that was just announced. I think it was announced 3 months before it came out, and it's a 3D platformer from PlayStation of all people, not Nintendo. PlayStation. Astro Bot.
Oh my goodness! It's a game that I love. I love this game.
This game right here, and I played it. You played Astro Playroom too, right?
Yep, when I first got it, I love that.
I love that game, and I was saying, man, imagine they make a full game, and they made a full game, and this is fun as hell. It's the most creative game when it comes to the gameplay mechanics. Like every level have its own different gameplay mechanics that you had to beat the level to use.
Yep.
That's what I love about the game the most is the gameplay mechanics, the level designs. I mean, when you go in the God of War level, oh man.
Yes.
That God of War, the Crash Bandicoot level, I mean, everything about Astro Bot was fun. I had a smile on my face every hour I played of this game until the final damn challenge and when they decided to make the game Dark Souls. Oh my God, that final challenge had me sweating. My hands it was the first time all year my hands were sweating. I was like, what is going on, man? This is tough. It was so tough, man. Hands were sweating. It took me damn near almost 2.5 hours to beat that final challenge. And when I did, like, yes, and the platinum trophy came up on my screen, like, that's satisfying, man.
I am like one character from getting the platinum.
Oh,
well, technically two characters.
Yeah, you got the final challenge. You get the last bot.
Yeah.
So,
and then you go to the regular room, and then you get that climb that thing, get that last one.
Yeah.
I mean, that one, I was like, I cannot beat that one. It's just ridiculous.
That final challenge is brutal. And I keep making it past one part. And when I keep dying, if I could just make it past this part. And I made it past the part. Then you got the part when all them fucking missiles coming at you, like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, it gets harder. Why?
Yeah, why? They just put a thing out where it's got 10 more characters.
They got the DLC. They added more. I did the Christmas one. I did the speed challenge.
Yeah. That one I haven't finished yet.
Yeah. But yeah, Astro Bot, man, who would have thought that PlayStation had a awesome 3D platform that you could say that's up there with Mario games?
That surprised me when you brought that one out.
Yes, it is right because I would have never thought that I'll have put a 3D platform over Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
But this game is just so damn fun. It's so awesome to play. I mean, like, and playing when I did the DLC, the Christmas DLC, and the speed challenge, like, yeah, this solidified. This is my game. It's my game. It has no flaws to it. There's nothing that I can complain about. Say, oh yeah, I didn't really like that and all that. This game is damn near perfect.
Yeah,
it is damn near perfect as a platform. It needs to be celebrated, and that's why I said in my post when it won Game of the Year at the Game Awards, and I said in my post, this needed to happen. This needed to happen for PlayStation to see that, oh, we do not need to make an Uncharted, a God of War, a massive AAA game.
Yep.
To have a great successful game. We can go ahead. We can have a platformer, a small game because this is only made by I think 17 people. It's a small team.
Oh wow!
Yeah, this is a very small team.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they made this game in a year or two. I think they said they started development early last year. Came out this year. Highly rated game, 94 Metacritic score, and a Game of the Year winner on their first major game. Because this seems so because. The one on play on the PS5, that's just a small game. It's like a how they call it, a demo game.
Yeah. I mean, it's really designed just to learn the controller.
Yeah, that's all it was for the PS for that play. And I was saying like, yo, if they could turn that game into a bigger game, and they exactly did that.
Mm-hmm.
Look what happened. An awesome game. I love this. I already plan on starting a new playthrough because I think I did start. I did the first world. I did a couple of those. So yep, I want to be playing through this again.
Yeah,
I'm playing through this again. And I'm like, because when it comes to 3D platform, when it comes to PlayStation, like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, I thought was great. It was just for the type of game. I think it should have been that short. I think it felt way too short of a game for the end that quickly. And they had their games like Jack and Daxter and Sly Cooper. See, Sly Cooper, I think that was the problem with Sly Cooper. It was a stealth game with platforming ability. And I think the stealth was the strength of the game. And I like, why did the platforming kind of hurt with the Sly Cooper games? But this is big for gaming, and this is big for PlayStation. That Astrobot ended up becoming a big time hit for a 3D platform.
I mean, that's
huge.
Somebody else last month they were talking about Game of the Year, and they mentioned that game. I was like, really? Mm-hmm. I mean, because I know how much I love playing it, but I don't play a lot of the complicated games. And when people were talking about it, possibly even Game of the Year, I was like, I knew I liked it a lot. I would never thought people were talking about really Game of the Year for that. And it is so
Game
good.
of the Year. And when I was watching the Game Awards, like. The Game Awards really became between these two games. They won the two most awards, and I was saying it's going to be between Metaphor and Astrobot. The Final Fantasy VII sadly only won. It won an award that I don't believe it should have won because I don't think it's the best soundtrack of the year. I think Stellar Blade is the best soundtrack of the year. That soundtrack, I'm gonna tell you, the music in that game. They had Korean singers. And they were singing in Korean language, and you could really tell you can't. Hey, man, I can't understand singing, but it sounds beautiful. The song is beautiful, and their voices are beautiful. Like I listen to half the songs because the soundtrack is 180 something songs, so I listened to about 80 something songs of the song. Yeah, I think it was 88 songs. I ain't made it up to hundreds, but man, that soundtrack is awesome. Celebrate. You played Bayonetta before, right?
Yeah.
Bayonetta,
wasn't it?
Yeah. I think Bayonetta and Nier Automata is where you say Stellar Blade took a lot of inspiration from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Especially on Nier Automata. They did the Nier Automata collaboration, which you could just I posted it. That's on my IG, so if you scroll down for a bit, you'll see it.
Mm-hmm.
I took those pictures with Nier Automata. But yeah, man. That's my game of the year, Astrobot, man. If you haven't played, and it's a good game to play with your family. If you got kids, let them play too, man, because they'll have a blast playing Astrobot.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm a kid at heart, so there you go.
Yeah. And like I said, I have not been a fan of platforms. Outside of Ratchet and Clank And that's not even the traditional platform. That's more of an action game.
Yeah.
Or I would say a platform.
It's funny, like Ratchet and Clank, I downloaded some of those not too long ago. And I'm just like, man, I'm having fun playing them.
Yeah.
I had a great time playing those games.
Like I never played the PS. I ain't played none of them actually. The PS2 games and the PS3. The one that came out in 2016 was the first Ratchet and Clank game I played.
Mm-hmm.
I played Rift Apart right after that. So yeah, that was Astrobot was my platform.